Imagine you're a researcher standing at the edge of a vast, unexplored wilderness. Your heart races with excitement as you prepare to embark on a journey into the unknown. This wilderness represents your research topic, and the path you're about to forge is your introduction. Just as a skilled explorer carefully plans their route, a savvy researcher crafts a compelling introduction to guide readers through the landscape of their study. Crafting a good introduction for an article or proposal is like creating a map for this intellectual expedition. It's your chance to captivate your audience, provide context, and set the stage for the adventure that lies ahead. But where do you begin? How do you ensure your introduction not only informs, but also engages and excites your readers? Let's start by considering the purpose and function of an introduction. It serves as a bridge, leading the reader from the general subject area to your specific research topic. Think of it as the opening scene of a movie, setting the tone and drawing the audience in. A well-crafted introduction establishes the scope, context, and significance of your research, summarizing current understanding and background information. But it doesn't stop there. Your introduction should clearly state the research problem, purpose, and any hypotheses or questions you aim to address. It's like planting a flag in uncharted territory, declaring your intentions and marking the boundaries of your exploration. Briefly explain your methodological approach, giving readers a glimpse of the tools you'll use on this journey. As you write, keep in mind the core questions your introduction must answer. What were you studying, and why was this topic important to investigate? What did we know about this topic before your study, and how will your research advance new knowledge or ways of understanding? These questions serve as guideposts, ensuring you cover all the essential elements. The structure of your introduction should follow an inverted triangle pattern, moving from broad to specific. Begin with general aspects of the topic, then narrow your analysis to more specific information and context. Finally, focus on your research problem, rationale, key questions or hypotheses, and potential outcomes. This structure helps readers gradually zoom in on your specific area of study. As you embark on writing your introduction, consider following these general phases. First, establish your research area by highlighting its importance, making general statements, and presenting an overview of current research. Next, identify a research niche by revealing a gap in existing knowledge, formulating a question or problem, or continuing a disciplinary tradition. Finally, place your research within this niche by stating your intent, outlining key characteristics, and briefly describing important results. Remember to clearly define the delimitations of your study. These are the conscious decisions you've made about the scope and boundaries of your research. Explain why you chose certain approaches and rejected others. This might include your specific aims and objectives, research questions, variables of interest, methods, time period, or theoretical frameworks. By clearly outlining these delimitations, you help keep your reader focused on what your study does and does untamed to accomplish. As you craft your narrative, pay attention to its flow. Identify your subject area clearly using keywords from your title. Establish context with a brief, balanced review of pertinent literature. But remember, this isn't the place for a full literature review. Clearly state your hypothesis or purpose, perhaps using a phrase like "the purpose of this study was ... Provide a clear rationale for your chosen research design, helping readers understand why your approach is the best fit for addressing your research questions. To truly engage your reader from the start, consider opening with a compelling strategy. You might begin with a vivid anecdote, a provocative question, or a puzzling scenario that illustrates the importance of your research. For instance, if you're studying the impact of social media on teenage mental health, you could start with a brief story about a teen struggling with anxiety due to constant online comparisons. This human element can make your research feel more relatable and urgent. As you structure your introduction, consider following the CARS model developed by John Swales. This model suggests 3 main moves in crafting an effective introduction. First, establish your territory by claiming importance. making topic generalizations, and reviewing key items of previous research. Next, establish a niche by indicating a gap in current knowledge, raising questions, or continuing a tradition of research. Finally, occupy the niche by outlining your purposes, announcing your present research, and briefly indicating your principal findings. Throughout your introduction, use language that signals the progression of your argument. When establishing your niche, for example, use contrastive or gap-indicating language. Phrases like, however, few studies have examined, or it remains unclear can help highlight the need for your research. As you near the end of your introduction, don't forget to include a roadmap. In your final paragraph, outline the organization of your paper and preview your main arguments or conclusions. This gives readers a clear sense of what to expect and helps them navigate the rest of your work. Here are a few important tips to keep in mind as you write. Avoid starting with dictionary definitions. If definitions are absolutely necessary, use subject-specific dictionaries instead. When providing historical context, be brief and succinct. If substantial background is needed, consider relegating it to your literature review section. Remember that crafting a good introduction is an iterative process. It's often best to revise your introduction late in the writing process, ensuring it aligns with your completed study's outcomes, methods, and findings. Your introduction should evolve as your research does, reflecting the journey you've taken and the discoveries you've made along the way. In conclusion, a well-crafted introduction is your opportunity to set the stage for your research. Engage your readers and clearly articulate the value and purpose of your work. By following these guidelines and considering your introduction as a map for your intellectual expedition, you can create a compelling opening that draws readers in and prepares them for the journey ahead. So, take a deep breath, pick up your pen, and start charting the course of your research adventure. Your readers are waiting to embark on this exciting journey with you.